Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. Hi, my name is Bonnie Violet. I'm a trans, femme, genderqueer, spiritual drag artist, digital chaplain, and person screaming over the music.
My name's Anthony. I'm a 7th year doctoral student, an addict, and an alcoholic. I'm currently in my office at work and excited to be on today, and I care about you.
Yes, and I'm Lulu, and my pronouns are he and him. I'm in recovery for alcohol and crystal meth, and I am a former Miss Castro Country Club, and I'm always in search of balance.
And each week we provide and create a brave space where we engage in topics around recovery.
Mm-hmm. And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for people in recovery.
By tackling topics sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, like, subscribe, comment, and ding that bell.
Ding, 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 ding. And you forgot you have some new dialogue.
What is it?
That's right.
What's my new dialogue?
Okay. A disclaimer.
Our disclaimer.
Oh, okay.
Snap out of it.
Get into it. So our disclaimer. Number one, we represent ourselves only. We don't represent the Castro Country Club or any recovery program. We aren't ambassadors for anything. What we say is not clinical advice. It's not life advice. Don't take your advice from a podcast. And I don't know.
Especially this one.
Absolutely not. No.
How's everybody?
Well, how are you, Liz?
I'm good. I'm at home. I'm in my favorite spot on my couch. Hey.
Right.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just living for this sparkle. Like, it's like good lighting and rhinestones. Who needs chocolate or cocaine when you got rhinestones?
Oh my God, I love it. The good lighting and calm.
I love all of that. I'm at work right now. I took a break. I had my last client a little bit ago. And yeah, I was just looking forward to be on today because I can't, obviously we can't all be in the studio because our producer, Brandon, is sick, and he is the mastermind behind orchestrating all of this for us to be live. And so I guess I just want to express some gratitude to him, since even though he's sick, he was able to put this together for us so that we could be online.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Brandon. Fabulous.
Thank you, Brandon.
So can y'all tell that I'm like on a super old computer? Look how pixelated I look.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's a really old computer. I think this is from 2006.
I thought you just had like a RuPaul's Drag Race filter on or something.
Season 1.
I feel like the new season announcement came out today, and I thought it was looking a little bit like your camera.
Some season 1 lighting.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes you got to go back to the basics.
Totally. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone was saying about like the whole look and feel, but I have a friend who's on this season, which is really yummy.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Well, Selena S. Titties.
Oh, she seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, she is. She's a lot of fun. She's very, super excited.
I heard one of them share that she was sober. The girl from Seattle.
Then that means there's more girls that are sober.
Yeah, Irene Dubois, I think, was her name.
Irene Dubois. Right on. That's
Dubois.
A good thing.
Yes.
We're everywhere.
Jaylon says not season 1 basics. LOL.
Whoa.
I
to this day, can I tell you that I to this day have a gripe with season 1? I think that
she was robbed.
Mm-hmm. She was totally robbed.
Well, I think you should stop thinking, because I think it happened just the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, no, I would say all season I thought it was Nina Flowers, but I do think that Bebe won.
Bebe deserved to win.
Bebe won it. Yeah, I think she won it the final episode.
Well, listen, sure. we can disagree, Lewis.
No, we just have to. We just have to.
Yeah. I love Nina Flowers.
Me too.
I love Nina Flowers too. I think that You know what? For some people, I don't think that getting to the end and winning the crown is the best thing for them.
Right.
No. I think it's great to win, but I think that winning doesn't guarantee that you're all of a sudden going to be able to capitalize on that success. I mean, just look at like an American Idol and other things like that. Some people just naturally have it, and it's maybe a step up, a stepping stone, but it's like if you don't have that thing, it doesn't matter, you know?
And there's plenty of girls that like Jujubee say who's never won any, but she still, does a lot of the shows.
She's the queen of third place.
Oh,
hey.
She's the Snapple of drag.
Is it was that, what's her name, Susan Ricci, or
Susan
right,
Lucci.
the Susan Lucci? Was she like
it took 13 nominations, I think, for her to win a daytime Emmy. And
yes,
should we get to today's topic?
Yeah.
I'm like,
we're addressing our blues.
So today's topic for folks chiming in or listening in is holiday blues. We did this topic last year. So in the tradition of the podcast, we like to wrap up the year discussing holiday blues. Yeah, holiday blues first, and then we talk about, I think in the coming week, we haven't discussed this yet, but in the coming week, we might discuss lessons learned for the year. So we're starting out with holiday blues. Since a lot of people during the holidays, it starts around November, definitely comes to a fever pitch in December, struggle during the holidays, either because they feel they're estranged from their families or I don't know, there are any number of issues, but it tends to be a rough time for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it's like, sometimes people that are no longer here, it can be sad, like, the holidays when you usually spend them, say, with family members or friends who have passed or something as well. Is that a blue ball?
Yeah, I was thinking about holiday blues, and it's one of my ornaments for my tree. It's a beautiful blue.
I love how you, Bonnie Violet, was saying like this very sweet, heartfelt thing, and you came and interrupted with your damn ornament.
No, it was good. It was cute. That's how we roll.
If you're listening and you can't see it, Bonnie was sharing, and I pulled out this lovely blue ornament because I was thinking holiday blues because I got the wrong idea.
No, it was good.
Bonnie Violet, you're so gracious.
Some days.
Absolutely, and thank you. I appreciate your grace.
So, are either one of you experiencing any holiday blues?
I have a lot of potential for it, but fuck no. No,
I have a lot of potential as well.
I've decided that I think I've decided that I'm going to spend Christmas by myself, but I'm going to be intentional about it. I did something very similar at Thanksgiving, where I just, I love cheese and crackers and salami for like the holidays. And so I got those for myself and I sat at home and did that. And so I want to do something intentional with myself because it can't, I'm not allowed to go home and see my family, or I'm not like I can list all these like things that I could be sad about. And I have been sad about in the past. And this year, for whatever reason, I'm in a position where I can just be like, fuck that noise, at least today, like next week I might be all sad about it. But right now I'm looking forward to it. And I did decide that I'm going to come to the Bay. I was going to be in Idaho, but I'm headed back to the Bay for the holiday.
I'll be on the East Coast. Go ahead, Lulu.
No, I think that I don't have any, not even that low kind of great kind of depression that sometimes can come over. I think that like there are moments where I have FOMO because I miss spending time with family and friends, and then I see all these pictures of things happening, and I always joke and say, I want an invitation. I'm not going to go, but I want an invitation so I can turn it down. But no, I'm like with Bonnie. I think that I'm at the age like I get excited because I get to establish my own like traditions,
Jalon says, pressure to produce Christmas or Xmas presents, #holiday blues. I gave I gave that up years ago.
Yeah.
The presents.
Yeah, I don't really give gifts or
Yeah.
I usually I'll save them till the new year. Like maybe if I like for Michael's thing on the 23rd, like we're gonna exchange. We're gonna do the white elephant. I've already bought the gift for that. That's probably it. And then
that's so much fun. Yeah, this is my first holiday with my family in many years. I think I want to say that it might be the first time in the 16 years that I've lived in California. I don't think I've done any holidays with my family, and that was deliberate, right? Like I used to feel estranged from my family, and I was talking to someone recently that I don't know what happened. Like something really changed in the last few years with my family. It never used to be the way it is right now.
Is it you?
Well, I was thinking about that, and like from my clinical training, like one of the things that I've learned, like when it comes to family systems, is like sometimes all you need to impact the family system is to change one person or one part of it, right? Because it's impossible for the entire system to go on as it was if you have this one person that's refusing to kind of do it all the same, right? So there's this ripple effect. So I don't know that I want to credit myself for just how wonderful and just how wonderful my family has been. But maybe my getting sober had something to do with that, right? And not just like my physical sobriety, but my emotional sobriety, because I had a grudge toward all of my aunts and my dad and my grandmother for so many years. And then because of my fourth and my fifth step, I think that softened me over time. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited to go back home. But my holiday blues is that, and I love everyone in San Francisco, I'm going to miss all of you. And that makes me feel emotional because y'all have become my family too.
Yeah.
So
but I think that game night will be less like kind of anxious and frenetic because you won't be here.
Did you say anxious and frenetic?
Yeah. Are you saying it's a gift?
I think what you meant to say, Lulu, is boring. I think that's what you
Okay, boring.
Are you saying Anthony not being there is the gift? Is that what you're saying?
Mike Pony said when I was depressed during the holidays. Now that I'm not, the holidays are better, but still not the way they were before I used. Welcome, Mike. Love you. Love running into you.
Mike, thank you for chiming in.
Yeah, that makes me think of like back when I was using. I remember one holiday is when I was using meth, and I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, and I went all out for Christmas. Like it was ridiculous. Lights everywhere, and like it was everything.
Well, meth. You pick one thing and then you obsess the hell over it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the thing that got me, and this is totally like unrelated, but I had everyone over, gift exchange stuff, and of course, one of my friends is like somehow comes over and has a handful of crap that he got out of the carpet because he's tweaking and needs to pick it out of the carpet or whatever. But
that's
so
another
glad.
show. We totally have another show about.
I know. I'm so glad that
bad behaviors when you're tweaking
in the past.
I was going to say something, but no, I'll hold it.
Why say it?
No, I kind of lost my thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was listening to you.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much wrapped up my idea. My idea thought. What were we gonna say, Bunny Violet?
I was just gonna say, like, are you? And we kind of started a little bit, but are you all big gift givers?
In my family?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I used to be.
My family, like my aunts are like professional gift givers. Like they're super thoughtful. They like to wrap presents together. What we've done, because it can get really expensive, my family's huge. What we've done is among the adults, we do a Secret Santa, and then the people that we buy gifts for are like the kids.
Yeah, that's exactly how we do. It's like we make Christmas, and all of the gift giving, the crazy gift giving is about the kids, and then we just like exchange names. We don't do the Secret Santa, but we just exchange names, and then we have a nice limit, and it's cool.
Yeah. One of the things I appreciate, especially in San Francisco, is that during the holidays, we tend to have like marathon meetings.
Yeah.
You know that, and one of the other things I love about like the recovery community is that you'll have people that'll have dinners, and they're open dinners that everyone can come to. I know at the Castro Country Club we did that with Thanksgiving. You know,
and the club is having an event also on the 24th. I believe it's from 2 to 4, and lots of food, lots of kind of it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, I think maybe I'm trying to think of where like the blues comes from for me, and I think maybe it's because it isn't lost on me that, like, you know, the Castro Country Club and all of these other people, like those were the places I went when I felt estranged, you know, and I was having beef with my family. And I guess I'm just noticing that now, that I think that's what I'm there's some tenderness around for me, that I'm like, wow, these people have really taken care of me. And, you know, for the first time in a really long time, I'm not going to be spending the holidays with them. And so I guess maybe what's coming up for me is like, I didn't realize just how important my recovery community was to me. You know, I mean, I always talk about how connected I feel, but just around the holidays, you know,
we get to teach each other how to feel, how to show up in these situations, and to show up. Because I was thinking about like when I was using, like I was very dramatic. Like I remember I used to, even though I had invitations to different things, I wouldn't go, and then I would sulk because I'm like, oh, why am I alone, and woe is me, and all this good stuff or whatever. But now I know it's like, I don't want to feel that darkness or whatever, and I don't want to feel left out. And so I'm going to put some things in place so that I make sure that like I'm surrounded by people who are loving me, so that I don't get caught up in that. Yeah.
I feel that.
Terry has a question. Someone want to read it?
Sure. Do you decorate your living space for the holidays if you live alone and no one is coming over?
Absolutely. I put my lights up. I have my little tree. And it's just simple and subtle, but it's just, I think for me that's important, because it can not feel like Christmas if my space doesn't feel a little warm like that, you know?
Yeah. Last year was my first time having my very own Christmas tree, celebrating Christmas. I wasn't by myself, but it was my first time living alone. And having her, so I definitely put up a tree. I might
invite a trick over, and they'll see the tree.
I haven't put up a tree this year because I'll be with my family. Yeah.
The cat's gonna like, rah! There's this TikTok where the cat, I guess, was left alone, and the tree's all nicely decorated, and the cat pulls it down and destroys the tree. And I'm like, I thought about you, Anthony. I'm all,
yeah. My guy eats my cords.
Oh.
He loves like he loves the Apple charger cord. So I've had to wrap it in duct tape. But that has nothing to do with the holiday blues. I guess to kind of like switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
What are some things that the two of you have done or are doing to address like holiday blues?
I mean, I think for me, it's just kind of planning it ahead of time, or just like thinking about it. Again, just I think trying to be intentional. Like even like I'm not necessarily planning on doing anything big. You know, I don't have a home, so I don't have, you know, a place to decorate. And but I think just being intentional, because you know, there's plenty of holidays where like I just didn't plan something, and then I find myself alone, or I find myself somewhere where maybe I didn't want to be, and then I'm like sad about it, or wonky about it, or isolated, or around people I don't want to be around. Whereas like I feel like just trying to be a little bit more intentional, and like thinking ahead, I think is a way to be helpful. And I think also just trying to stay connected, even if it's not physically, if there's other ways to try to connect with folks. How about you, Lulu?
I mean, that's the same. It's like, I think planning ahead, because if I wait too long, if I don't think about it ahead of time. But I remember talking to some of my closest friends, and we were thinking, well, what are we doing? Let's make some plans, you know, let's make some plans. I think that what's nice when I stay locally here, I can always plan everything around what happens at the club, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah, because at least I can go there. And I, for me, you know what's really good? If I've got food in the fridge, I'm good because I have some days off. I will cozy up here, turn on the heater, and watch and stay caught up on shows. And I think that that's a testament to continually doing the work, being in the steps, um, being in the fellowship, whatever. Because I think that when I'm firmly planted in the middle of lifeboat, if you will, I'm good, you know. And then I've
Yeah.
got a higher power that is looking out for me, and I always have options, and
Mm-hmm.
I have my family because I have family locally. Like, I know that if I wanted to spend time with my family, I could reach out and because we do the 24th. We also have brunch or do things on the 25th, but then there's other stuff that happens on the 26th. Like we just make an extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I think I probably will connect because I haven't had chitlins in a long time and gumbo.
Oh.
That's we do chitlins and gumbo. That's kind of a tradition, and that's a tradition that I am always happy to bring leftovers and cook them at my job so people will smell everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think really encouraging our listeners or maybe people who are new in recovery, or maybe like I think for some people, maybe the holidays might even, maybe challenge someone's recovery.
Mhm.
So, I think just like any other time when we plan to go to a bar or we plan to go see our family or whatever, depending on what program it is, like with Al Anon, we talk about like, or even AA, we talk about meetings before or meetings after, or calls with sponsors or sponsees, or potentially even bringing somebody with to kind of like help you through that process as well. So again, I think it's all just kind of about planning and being willing to like use your resources.
Yeah. Like I think it is so important through this. Like even if you feel like I think about early recovery and the times when I did not plan or I deliberately said, "Oh no, I want to not be around people," because that's another thing I will say. Oh, I don't want to be around people. Fight that
Yeah.
urge, fight that urge. Even if you just go out for a little bit, even if you go out for a little bit and connect with people, go to a movie, do whatever, so
Hmm.
that you are connecting. Because I think that it comes down to staying connected.
Right. Well, and even if it's about just going and being of service, because
Oh,
there are
absolutely. Yeah,
there
that's
are
the other thing.
if
But
nobody goes to the
it's
meeting or
crazy hard to find find volunteer commitments. Like we used to always like try to volunteer at Glide or other places, and it's like book tight. You
yeah,
gotta get.
it's the one day out of the year some people decide to volunteer.
Yeah, but sometimes being a service is just being present. I
Like
mean,
just
being
showing
with
up.
people.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Because I know that with those marathon meetings, like a lot of times they're at the last minute they're looking for people to secretary them. So you want an
Yeah. Yeah.
opportunity to secretary? Show up, girls. Show up.
Yeah, and like marathon meetings for folks who may not know or know that term or whatever, is sometimes on holidays, like some places like the Castro Country Club or other Alano clubs or recovery places around the country, they have times where they'll have like just meetings every hour or so, on the hour or, every other hour. There'll be some sort of schedule and maybe even social in between. So if you might look for something like that in your area as well. I'm sure
Yeah,
there'll be online ones too.
yeah, and over the phone. I think the takeaway here is, like has been said before, you don't have to do anything alone. Um, and I want to repeat what Lewis said is like if you have this impulse to stay home and sulk, fight it. There's just no reason for that.
Yeah,
No.
it's hard to fight it once you're in it though, so it's like,
I know. And if you end
Oh,
up
I
in it, you
know.
know what you can do? You can listen to old episodes of us talk.
right.
We've
Well,
got,
and
but
sometimes we just have to be sad, and sometimes we just have to go through some of those difficult feelings. And so
this is true. It's like one of the gifts of this recovery early on is understanding that and I'm in every life some rain's got to fall. I would like to be happy all the time, but that's not a balance. That's not being
yeah.
balanced. I I I go through those things so that I can appreciate the times when I feel good, And it's not the end of the world, because I think as addicts and alcoholics or whatever, sometimes, I know you've heard this, sometimes we don't know the difference between a bad day and the end of the world. And the thing about it is, like, the more we go through, have experiences, and we make it out on the other side, the more we believe that it's possible. So you're right, Bonnie. Sometimes we got to sit through the sadness, but you don't have to do it alone. You get to be sad with other people.
Yes. This too shall pass.
Absolutely. And
sometimes I hate hearing that. But
I met with my sponsor last night, and I'm like going through some stuff about work, because obviously my perfectionism is kind of showing up, and my need to have things be a certain way. And I'm realizing that I want to be happy. And I'm telling myself I can make it through another couple weeks, because that's all.
Yeah.
There'll be a shift. Oh, you got this. Oh, that's like when he says, "Oh, you look like the 4th of July." Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Yeah, and this is a great time. Usually Anthony does this, but for folks who are listening, we'd love to hear how you're coping with the holidays, or what is it that you're doing to tackle your blues, or maybe even hang out in your blues, or whatever, like, we'd love to hear from you. So
please
share. Yes, in the comments.
Let us know. Let us know.
Let it snow. There is snow here, actually.
Really?
In Idaho. Yeah, there's been a lot of snow. A good amount of snow. It snowed every day the last 4 or 5 days.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping it snows back home. I'll send you all pictures. It's so I come from a small city in Pennsylvania, and it's known as the Christmas City, and it is absolutely beautiful during the holidays. There's like horse and carriages and people dressed in like old-timey clothes, and all of our light posts are donned with like trees.
Gay apparel.
I was thinking gay apparel. Well, those are all clothes.
Oh, you guys are so obnoxious. Get out of my face.
Well, Anthony, I was going to ask you, it's like, being Puerto Rican, it's like, are there traditions?
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Are there traditions like that your family like?
Oh my God, yes. So when I was a kid, my mom would go. I think it's bajandeando, which is basically like you start at someone's house and you have like people with instruments and stuff like that. It's caroling, but it's like next level caroling. And so you go to one person's house and you go and you show up and you start your singing and playing instruments, and then you go to somebody else's house and more people come together and more instruments, and you're eating at their house, and then you leave that house and you get bigger and you go to somebody else's house and you're singing. So we used to do that. I don't think my family does that anymore, but that's definitely a tradition that we had. My aunts have been starting new traditions in my family, which is really exciting, like having dinners and saying and doing certain things during dinners. What other things? There's certain foods we always make. So we always make like arroz con gandules, it's basically rice with these pea type things, and then we serve coquito, which is it's an alcoholic drink, but we also have like the virgin part version of it. It's basically Puerto Rican eggnog.
I love eggnog. My grandpa used to always make eggnog every year.
Yeah,
I love eggnog.
Oh, and the other thing is Puerto Ricans go out when it comes to like decorating. They like go all out. Like one of the most beautiful places I've been told to visit is Puerto Rico during the holidays, because people really they really go out. So there's some of the things I can think of.
Something you said, I think that is helpful for folks listening, like starting new traditions, because I think that we kind of have to establish some new patterns now that we're not drinking or whatever. Because early on, I remember being nervous about going and being with my family, just because I knew that as much as they loved me, they weren't changing they weren't changing certain things for me. It's like if they were drinking, they were drinking, and it was my responsibility to decide how long I could handle it before like I would have to leave. But yeah. I do like spending time, but sometimes it's like I put the egg timer on and decide I'm gonna be here as long as. Go ahead.
I just remembered another holiday blue thing. So last year I was really sad because it was the first. It was my first holiday without my now former partner. And I remember that because
I love how you said my now former partner. Wouldn't it been just nice to say former partner? Weren't you?
What's it like? You should mind your business and not.
So it was very interesting language for sure.
Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to peel this orange and have this conversation at the same time. But basically, my ex is what I'm going to say. But it was my first holiday without him because the year before that we had celebrated Christmas and it was horrible. Well, it was not entirely horrible, but it was still the first time I had celebrated major holidays with a significant other. And so it makes me wonder if that comes up for people like y'all, if it comes up for you wanting to be booed up during the holidays or feeling
it's cuffing season.
Yeah.
Cuffing season.
Yeah, no, not anymore. I mean, I was married.
I've
once,
never been booed up for holiday seasons.
So I had some, married holidays and, did the in-laws stuff and the, that sort of thing. And there was definitely a lot more to do with the holidays and all, but I don't necessarily feel any more single than any other day.
I just don't know how I'm going to handle this holiday season without you, Anthony.
Aww.
What is that all about?
I thought Anthony and I had something going. Now you two have something going.
Yeah.
I love how your facial expression changes.
Yeah, no one can see it, but I was really disgusted.
You were disgusted. It was you had that look of oh, they know. You were supposed to keep it a secret. That's what the look was. Just for folks who aren't watching.
My screen must be extra pixelated if that's what you saw.
That's what I saw.
Okay, yeah. I can we take a moment just to really appreciate my lighting?
You have the best lighting.
I love my lighting too.
Yeah, the way my grays come in, it's yes.
Yeah, you're the one who, next time you have to up your game, Anthony.
Yeah, and maybe use a computer that's not the first computer.
This is I'm using the computer at work. I should have just come in on my phone. I don't know. I feel what? What are you gonna say, Louis?
No. I think that I don't know. It's maybe we could go back to new, because when it comes down to this idea of holiday blues, it's I feel I don't know about you guys, but I'm in this much better position because for me with my recovery, it's I have to be on top of it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because the way depression works or did work for me is by the time I was in it, and I couldn't escape it. And so I'm constantly proactive about the things that I'm doing. And so, of course, because I've put in the work leading up to, I'm looking forward to the season. But the problem before before recovery, or even before this period in my life, I was so in my head about other stuff that by the time this came, it was already here. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think that whatever you do, whether it be 12-step, whether it be smart recovery, whether it be anything, I think it's all the stuff that we do leading up to that get us ready for these tough times. Because I'm such a Virgo. I like to see what's around the corner. Obviously I can't, but I like to prepare as much as I possibly can.
Every episode you have to mention that you're a Virgo.
I know. I was just gonna say that. I'm Louis,
that's not bad. It's just
that you're a Virgo.
I know Terry is like, I don't know if you all are seeing all the comments, but Terry is the narrator.
I know,
Yeah,
exactly. Terry.
Is Anthony eating his lunch? Anthony's lighting is never mind. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was eating.
Lewis has to stay on top of it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on top of it this holiday season.
Well, like one thing that came to mind for me was just like, also it's like, you know, like I've just talked even about how like, oh well, I feel good, I want to do it by myself, like blah blah blah. I think sometimes in recovery I can be like, oh, I don't need it, so I'm not going to participate. But I think also maybe just like checking in on loved ones or friends, you know, like calling them just to see if they're okay. It doesn't even have to be about you.
Yeah,
it could just be
that's when we talk about service. Yeah, being a service.
Pick up a phone list at some meeting and just call people randomly and wish them a happy holiday.
Do you all send Christmas cards or holiday cards?
I don't.
I wanted to get in that, but I just can't keep up with people's addresses.
Yeah, I had some people reach out to me like, I want to mail you a Christmas card. I'm like, I don't have an address right now.
Maybe I like low-key get sketched out when people ask for my address because I'm like, why?
We know.
Can I have your social security card? Your social security number?
I don't know.
You're so sus, Anthony.
No, well, you want to know why? So you want to hear a story? It happened on Christmas. No, it was Valentine's. So
did you guys see that message?
Then wait until Valentine's.
Wait, did you see that message?
I guess it's a holiday. What does it say?
9 minutes.
Oh,
9 minutes.
You aren't paying attention. It's like
I thought it said 9 inches.
Oh. Oh, survival skills for the
All right, Terry. Giving them some guardrails. Thank you, Terry.
Right.
Survival skills for family holidays. That's a good one. Well, my thing has been, well, you mean like for drinking? I'm assuming for drinking
or for anything. Period. I mean, because it's like the drinking. Drinking is the part of it, but the subtle stuff is that, like, I know you saw that Saturday Night Live skit where the landmines, because your family are the ones that install all the buttons. And usually it's the landmines and not just the drinking that can really kind of fuck with us. I
think thinking about time or duration with family can probably be a helpful thing that we haven't talked about already, is just like thinking about.
I said egg timer earlier. I was like, I'm all the egg timer or the hourglass. Like, this is as long as we can do this.
Right. Or even like the time of day or the event. I'm sure some events or some time of the event might be more messier than the other. So I think maybe, again, it's just kind of like trying as much as you can to kind of think ahead of what's going to make, I don't know, what can I do to alleviate some of that potential either triggers or discomfort or, you know, feelings that are going to make me want to get out of them.
Having an exit plan.
Yeah.
Exit plan. Especially if you're traveling away to your family because you don't live with them. Like maybe having if you're staying with folks who are not as much drama, or I don't know.
Like in Al-Anon they talk a lot about, like, if you're going to go see the family or you're going to go be in those events, don't like stay with your family, like get a hotel if you can, or stay somewhere else. Or I know I've been at home sometimes, and usually when I go, well, I haven't been home, you know, anyways, but like even just being able to go for a walk, you know, most anywhere we are, maybe go for a walk or go for a drive, depending on what you're able to do, just to kind of like get away, catch your breath, whatever you need to do. I think that can be helpful too.
Yeah. Those are all really good.
Check out the meetings, or if you do meetings, check out the meeting schedule where you are. It's always fun to go and be the special guest, and we'll, you know, say, and is anybody visiting? I'm Louis from San Francisco.
Yeah, I was going to suggest the meetings too. My hometown has really, it's like old school. I feel like every meeting I've gone to back home, everyone has like 15 plus years. And those have been great.
How is it for folks navigating? Because I think many of us, I know for me, I'm in Idaho again, but like sometimes going home is like, you're not like we talk about often, like being in San Francisco, we're surrounded by queer people. So it's like, if you're in those smaller towns or places, you're probably going to a meeting that might not get a lot of folk like us, so to speak, in there. And so I think kind of navigating that too can be a challenge as well.
Yep.
I think those seem to be the times, like, and it happens really because a lot of times I'll go home, and I'm throwing the term home loosely because home is like
is where the heart is.
I'll go visit family because home is here. Home is here now because we don't have like we no longer have like a home like where my parents raised us because everybody's kind of spread to the wind or whatever. But when I go visit them, I usually get so caught up in being with them because I time the amount of time I'm there. So I'm super excited. The magic of me has not worn off because if I stay too long, all of a sudden they move me out of the big room and onto the couch, and then I start cleaning and whatever. And I time that right. But I don't have to worry about like going to meetings and feeling like other because I'm just comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I think, again, it's like by going to meetings, though, in those places, too, as queer folks, there might be queer folks in the area. So
Absolutely.
I think there's that element. And I know for me, I got sober here. So I didn't get sober in queer meetings. Like queer meetings was something I was able to find later on. Ben has a comment, I think.
Benji.
Aw, hi, Ben. Ben. So grateful for this pod. Feels so validating to hear you discuss these relatable experiences. Absolutely adore you, Benji.
Thanks, Benji. Decking out for online meetings is good too.
Oh, I know.
When I first read that, I thought it was like fucking, but like
you've been thinking that a lot. It's like Bonnie, what's going on, huh?
Girl, it's been almost 2 years, so it's not.
Okay.
It's not that.
All right now.
Anyway,
let me tell my story real quick.
Oh, is it Valentine's?
We thought you were eating.
I thought Terry saved that. I thought Terry saved us from that already.
I need both of you and Terry to back up. So many years ago, I think I was 18 or 19 years old. I was living in New York City. I was drinking like crazy. My boyfriend at the time was also drinking like crazy. I had just broken up with him. And one night, I was sleeping at my friend Rachel's house in our dorm. I was sleeping at my friend Rachel's house and Rachel's dorm. And we had house door. It was a mattress in the middle of the street. So I was staying at my friend Rachel's, and very long story short, the guy that I like started dating after I broke up with this other guy, literally in a span of days, he and I were sleeping on her sofa couch. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, the guy's name was Tyler. I was like, oh, I think I remember Tyler being on my right side. Who's on my left side? And so it turns out that my ex had broken into her room while we were sleeping, and he crawled into bed with me and this other guy. And he's whispering to the other guy, who the fuck are you? And he's like drunk out of his mind. Very long story short, we had to call the cops. The ambulance showed up because he was like threatening to kill himself. And maybe that's where my paranoia comes from.
Terry, I think Terry said it. Wow.
Well, that ex-boyfriend and I, he and I are actually, we're really good friends.
Wow.
He's married now. That was a very long time ago.
I'm feeling triggered.
Right. We trigger warning.
This is what happens when you chain smoke.
It must be that time.
Yes, hi. So if you want to get in touch with the Lulu, you can catch me on the gram at LuiLou86. You can DM me, send me messages. I will respond. There's pictures and lots of fun.
And you can connect with me, Bonnie Violet, at A Queer Chaplain on all of the things.
And you can find me on Instagram at @LucasCCC. Thank you, everyone who's been sending me messages about things that we've discussed. That's been really cool. And you can also find us on our new Instagram account at the CCC podcast.
Yeah, and you might see some things on TikTok too. Louis and I are trying to get some things out on TikTok a little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you want to send us a message, send us an email, you can email us at podcast@castrocountryclub.org. Or if you're feeling extra chatty, do you want to do this?
No, go for it.
No. Or if you're feeling extra chatty, you can leave us a message on www.speakpipe.com/@the-CCC.
I just didn't know if you
Yes.
needed to chew.
So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
We provide programs and services that help people change their lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support. You can find more information at castrocountryclub.org.
Yes, and tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m.-ish when we go live on our Castro Country Club Facebook and YouTube channels.
4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I would say, which Tuesday is that, Anthony?
Every Tuesday.
All right. And find us wherever you listen to podcasts at the CCC.
Yes.
See you
Thank
next week. And
as usual,
hang
we
in-
love you. Bye.
hang in
Happy
there.
holidays.
Woo, woo, woo. Music.